Uh, so for today, I'll be talking about electronic medical records in hospitals. Um, I'm Dr. Mike Muin. I'm a health IT professional. I've been doing hospital IT work for the past 18 years. So karamihan ng mga work ko has always been about hospitals. And one of the challenges in hospitals has always been the implementation of an EMR. So gusto kong i-share yung mga learnings when implementing an EMR. Our company is Med Projects. We help hospitals not only in planning but also implementing, building roadmaps and process improvement projects. These are our past and current clients. So this is actually the second in a series of hospital IT webinars. We've been doing hospital IT work for several years. So yung online lectures namin are targeted really for hospital IT. We're planning to do another one next week, but tentative pa. We're still checking kung available pa yung mga tao. Kasi bakasyon na rin. So kung hindi, baka next year na lang. Or continue natin yung ibang topics for next year on hospital IT. Okay, so why the need for this talk? Actually, during the pandemic, medyo marami-raming webinars on telemedicine and IT enablement ng healthcare industry. May mga discussions about electronic medical records, no? But medyo malaki ang confusion about EMRs, especially for hospitals. So I feel that the country is stuck in a very challenging situation, and I think everyone should be updated and informed about EMRs for hospitals. So let's just go through the basic definitions of EMR. So there are a lot of definitions for EMR if you go online from Wikipedia and all the other online resources, but this is the one I use from HIMSS. It's a secure, real-time, point-of-care, patient-centric information resource for clinicians. Okay. So secure, real-time, point-of-care, patient-centric information resource for clinicians. Okay. So yung key points dito when we talk about an EMR is to look at real-time access. So hindi yung tipong nagre-review ka na lang or mamaya mo na makita. It's real-time access. Paglabas ng data, makita mo na kagad. Second, it captures data, consolidates data from various clinical data sources. So when it comes to the hospital, maraming data sources sa loob ng hospital. So kailangan yung EMR, kaya niya makapture lahat ng data doon. And the last one, and I think this is very important, is it is used by clinicians. So it's not enough na meron ka lang form, meron kang system, pero kung hindi ginagamit, and it's not a primary information resource, then it's not exactly an EMR. There are several advantages for having electronic health records, electronic medical records. So the Health IT .gov site lists some. So hindi ko na dadaanan, but we all know that there is real value and there are benefits in having an EMR. So aside from efficiencies, there are documented cases of patient safety, reducing errors, okay? So better clinical outcomes. So maraming benefits ang having an EMR. The biggest misconceptions of having an EMR in the Philippines is because we are in a very unique situation. I'd like to address three. The first one is that a clinic EMR is the same as a hospital EMR. So this is a misconception. Yung clinic EMR is usually targeted for private practices. So I will expound on this later kung bakit complicated ang hospital EMR. But a clinic EMR is good to have, especially for solo practitioners, solo physicians. It's a good start for their own clinical documentation needs, but it's not enough for a hospital. The second misconception is it's easy to buy one. Just buy one and implement. Okay? So, hindi siya ganun kadali. There are a lot of activities and integration activities that need to be done. And finally, a very common misconception, and this is something that I think we need to address in the country, is that an HIS, a hospital information system, is already an EMR. Okay. Let me just expound on this a little bit. An HIS is a very important software inside the hospital, but the difference is that in an EMR is actually used by clinicians. The HIS is used by the administrative staff. So the data is also different. You have patient demographics, billing details inside an HIS, but in EMR, you really handle clinical data. Doctor's notes, diagnostic results, medications. Okay? The transactions are also different, and the purpose of the whole system. I'm not saying that you don't need an HIS. An HIS has a very specific purpose inside the hospital. It manages the hospital operations and registration charges and billing, even government mandated requirements. But the EMR is focused on handling patient care. So to be able to appreciate the EMR, it would be nice to see what actually is out there. So when I started doing hospital work, I didn't really understand what's an EMR for hospitals. So I tried to look at what's available. So I looked at the different software online. So the biggest one is actually Epic. Epic has around 30% of the US market. They are very big. But if you look at their modules, they have modules very specific for clinicals. So yung clinicals pa lang nila medyo malaki. If you look at this one, meron silang clinicals, meron silang specialties and ancillaries, meron silang nakahiwalay ng telehealth. No? The whole concept of an EMR is big. If you look at their specialties, this is still part of Epic. Meron silang focus on anesthesia, dermatology, dialysis, endoscopy. Okay. So when you create a plan for an EMR inside your hospital, hindi lang enough na meron kang form na pwede kang type. You need to look at the specialties that you need to provide for. You need to look at the different workflows and requirements, the departments, the ancillaries inside the hospital. So kailangan mo gawa ng plano. Okay. This is Cerner, the second in the US. They also have a different approach. Malaki rin sila. They have a specific module just for ambulatory, specific module for nursing. I will discuss on this later. Specific module on oncology. Okay? So malaki rin sila. Marami rin silang clinical modules sa loob. This is just a part. They have physician charting, emergency medicine. Okay? But I think it's also good to understand that one of the earliest EMRs in the world was actually Vista. Ito yung Vista. Okay. So this Vista is actually an EMR built by the Veterans Hospital in the US. It was built by the different IT departments. So there are around 120 veterans hospitals in the US. And each hospital, they created their own modules until such time that they talk to each other, to 120, and discuss sila, tapos nag-share sila ng mga information. So they created a big EMR, and it was open sourced a few years ago, probably around 2000. And then marami nang nag-try no, gumamit ng Vista. But if you look at the different modules inside Vista, marami talaga silang tinatry i-address. The ADT is just one aspect. But they are also working on mental health, medicine, oncology. Okay? So ito yung CPRS, ito yung tinatawag nilang computerized patient record system. When I attended a session sa kanila, nung nasa US pa ako, it was they focused, they discussed CPRS, how the doctors use the CPRS. So andito yon, yung problem list, no, andito lahat ng EMR, physician-related activities, pero marami rin sa iba. Yung financial is actually separate. You look at this. Okay? So I just want to emphasize that the EMR, if you really look at hospital crimes, really big, it's complex. So hindi lang enough na administrative functions lang nandyan. Okay? So you need to look at that one. So when I was starting doon sa mundo ng hospital IT and looking at how to actually implement EMRs in hospitals, meron ka talagang kailangan saan ba ako mag-umpisa? Where do we start? So when I came back 2007 and I started working in St. Luke's, I came across the EMRA model, the Electronic Medical Record Adoption Model from HIMSS. Okay? So if you look at this, meron siyang magandang it's actually an 8-stage model, but it's actually a journey. Okay? So our expert advisor available, achieving a near paperless environment. Okay? So these 8 stages, nung inaaral ko siya, ito siya nun. Okay? So right now, this is the latest one. But nung early 2000, bago mag-2010, medyo may paiba-iba siya ng konti. No? At that time, wala pa yung masyadong IT. It's all about clinical. At this discussion, I will just focus on the clinical aspect, on the EMR clinical aspect, because this is important for what we plan to do. Now, nung nag-start, meron talaga siyang very little information. No? So, pag nakasult na CDR, Angeles, okay. So, medyo nahirapan ako. But one of the things that I understood, that is actually a journey. So, ibig sabihin, you start somewhere, you build something, you install something, and then slowly build on top of it. So, each stage is like a foundation for the next stage. So, each stage is a step. Okay? So, kailangan mo talaga mag-start from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. Now, one of the things that I tried to understand during that time was, is paperless really possible? So, parang there's always this idea na pag nasa Pilipinas ka, pag nasa US, paperless sila. But, nung nandun naman ako, hindi ko naman nakita na paperless talaga yung mga hospitals. So, I tried to understand kung realistic ba ang paperless. Okay? So, I look at the different data. Ito medyo may bago na. At that time, I only have around 2010, 2011. But the US does benchmarking of different hospitals kung nasaan na sila sa stage ng NRAM. So, ito yung takbo ng kanilang data. But looking at the data, you'll see that since 2006 until 2009, a lot of the hospitals were actually below stage 4. So nasa stage 3, 2009 pababa, no? The majority of hospitals is like 70-80% nandito sila lahat sa baba. Stage 3. So titingnan ko na, okay, pero there was a jump. During 2009, 2010, 2011, there was a jump. And a lot of the hospitals tried to go for stage 4 pataas. If you look at 2015, you'll see that majority of the hospitals are already at stage 5 and 6. Okay? So nandito sila. What happened was, during 2009 to 2010, there was a bill, a part of Obama's, sa Obama administration, was to go forward with what they call the HITECH Act. And it was passed in 2009. It gave incentives to hospitals who did EMR. So if you have an EMR and you meet certain criteria, or if you look at the criteria, there should be computerized order entry, there should be a recording of drug allergies, okay? So there should be e-prescriptions, active medication list. So these were the requirements. This was just the first stage, kasi there were 3 stages, no, moving towards 2015, but this was the first stage. So meron nag-jump, kaya if you implemented this and you met the requirements, you'll be given incentives, parang money back, no? Doon sa bumili ka ng EMR, babayaran ka para ano. In some ways, meron tayong mga very similar incentives, no, when it comes to the PhilHealth. Kailangan makakomply tayo with some electronic requirements, and then sa DOH rin, no, some mandatory requirements. It's not exactly incentives, but at least medyo mandated and medyo napupush tayo towards that. So when you analyze the whole thing, I was looking at it, parang ang malaking learning is not everyone in the US, not all hospitals are paperless. So may talagang journey. But another realization is, kung wala kang incentive, if there is organic incentive, ibig sabihin the hospital just wants to improve. The hospital just wants to go for something better than the current situation, then stage 4 is the realistic target. Okay? Even if you look at the transition from stage 1 to 2 towards stage 4, medyo years rin pagitan, no? So if you do planning, you don't say that, I want to be stage 4 on day 1. I want to be stage 4 on year 1. Okay? Especially if you're starting out from stage 0, stage 1. So sabihin mo bali na, okay, I'm going to target probably stage 1 to 2 on the first year, then 3 and 4. Okay? So meron kang roadmap, meron kang journey na susundan. Okay? So ano nga ba ang laman nito nga to? Ano ba sinasabi? Okay, so I know, meron journey. Ano ba yung first step? So sabihin mo na, these are just words. So prior to 2018, I was doing my own analysis of this. But 2018, they came up with a list. So a very short checkbox of what's available. Parang ikaw na rin mag-i-interpret ano bang ilalagay mo doon. Ilalagay ko lang yung stage 7. This is the dream, okay? Where the hospital no longer uses paper charts to deliver and manage patient care. Okay, so that's a dream. Pero it's not enough. When you create a plan for the hospital, when you try to really go into EMR, it's not enough to just identify these words. One of the things that I was the head of IT, I was CIO. It's not enough to just have, okay, we need ancillary. No?
You might want
to identify something very specific. What is the overall theme? What is the overall strategic direction for the hospital at that time? Ano ba yung capabilities natin? Na-mute ako bigla. Okay. So when you go through each stage, if you're planning for the hospital, I want you to look at it right now na parang you're on top of the hospital, at the top floor, imagining that everything is sa floors is see-through. Nakikita mo lahat. Nakita mo yung emergency department, nakita mo yung ICU, nursing floors, nakita mo yung admitting department, ER, nakita mo lahat. Nakita mo sa dami ng tao. When you want to implement stage 1, ano mo involved? Okay? So you look at the teams involved, ano yung mga ano. Maraming questions. Ito yung gusto kong daanan ngayon as we go through each stage. Okay? The first stage is stage 0. By the name itself, ibig sabihin 0. Pero what exactly is 0? It just states that at stage 0, you don't have any of the ancillaries installed. Wala kang LIS, wala kang pharmacy, inventory system yan, wala kang radiology. So they targeted 3 major ancillaries. Okay? So which means that you are stage 0 if you only have a hospital information system. Kung HIS lang hawak mo, or you have an LIS and an HIS, okay? Very minimal integration, you are stage 0. Paumpisa ka pa lang, stage 0. Okay? So the question you need to ask when you're at stage 0 is, do you want to go beyond the HIS? Are you ready for an EMR? Okay. So as part of this this talk, I also created a list of questions na I could share later on dun sa website or sa email. These are some additional questions that you could ask. One of our clients was ano bang question na pwede namin itanong, no, habang nag-implement? So I'll be listing down some questions. We will not go through them in detail, but it's something that you can explore and will be useful when you try to implement. So when you are at stage 0, HIS ka lang, siguro bumili ka ng LAS mo, meron ka ng LAS, you're considering looking at PACS system, no? So doon ka pa lang sa stage 0, but you're ready to start. So you move towards stage 1. Ang ibig lang sabihin is, ando ka pa sa starting point. Dati pa, kung gusto mong pumunta ng may biyahe ka, ando ka pa lang sa punta ka ng Baguio, ando ka pa lang sa Manila, hindi ka pa sigurado kung anong hawak mo, baka bisikleta pa lang. Okay, so mag-start point ka naman. Stage 1 is looking at ancillaries. Laboratory, pharmacy, cardiology. Okay? So, ito yung definition ni HIMSS. All 3 major ancillary clinical systems are installed. You already have a PACS system at meron kang system for non-DICOM images. Okay? And it should be patient-centric. The target of stage 1 is digitization of all diagnostic workflows. Okay? There is a requirement that kung LIS lang meron, you could actually look at CBC results, pero hindi mo makita yung RIS mo. Kulang. There is a foundation for EMR that everything should be in electronic format. So what you need to do is to look at the different ancillary departments in your hospital and determine meron ba silang system. Okay? So naka-electronic na ba? As much as possible, wag mong iwanan yung ibang department na hindi sila naka-digitized. Okay? So, maganda mag-list down ka ng iba-ibang diagnostic centers inside the hospital. Ilista mo. It's not enough that you go for an LIS. It's not enough that you have an RAS. That's just 2. But meron kang nuclear medicine. Let's say, meron kang ECG, meron kang 2D echo, meron kang EEG, no? Lahat ng ibang ano. Sometimes, when you try to digitize a lot of this, some hospitals usually start out with something like Access. No? Kaya may icon dito. Access Excellent Word. Okay? So, when you try to go to stage 1, you try to create some efficiencies in your operations. You create an Access database, doon siya, nakastore lang siya, walang ibang makita kundi yung laboratory o kung ano man yung unit. Paminsan, naka-Excel lang. And then, sometimes yung iba, sa Word, type lang, no? Merong template, save as, ano lang, mag-save on top of this, tapos release, then okay na. Okay? Walang concept of automation, walang concept of archiving, no? Storage and retrieval. Now, that's why one of the earliest things that we do in any EMR implementation is to go towards the digitization of ancillary tests. So in a project that we're working on, we're actually trying to digitize and integrate not only the LIS and RIS, but also the other diagnostic units. It's important because you also want not only for digitization, but you also want to create worklists and workflows and approval for them. So it's not enough to just come up with an electronic printer. You also need to automate and create efficiencies in the way they do the work. Okay? So you also need to cater to different formats of the data para magamit siya, para pwede siyang maging electronic. Okay? Now, even at this stage, hindi enough yung just buying. You also need to answer a lot of questions. These are just some of the questions during this time. So stage 1. A lot of the hospitals, siguro yung mga nag-umpisa pa lang, hindi pa nila alam saan pupunta. They're starting out here. So ano ba yung mga bibiliin ko? Ano ba yung mga kailangan kong i-implement? Kailangan maging electronic, kailangan ma-computerize. Okay? So wag mong i-limit dun sa major. Go for ano. Also go for yung patient charts kung meron because later on that will be required sa different stages on how you access previous charts and clinical data. Okay. So maraming questions. These are some questions that you can ask as you plan and as you work with vendors. Pwede mo rin silang tanongin. Okay. So that's stage one. Very straightforward. The next stage is actually stage two, and this is where things get a bit more complicated. Okay. So stage two, the target of stage two is actually having interoperability. Ang ibig sabihin, each of the systems talk to each other. Tanggalin natin lahat ng confusing words. There are keywords inside the whole definition ng HIMSS. So it does this from HIMSS. First, you need a single clinical data repository. Okay. This is a concept that is not available in some of the hospital information systems. The idea to come up with a fully integrated single data repository where you could store a lot of your lab results and the diagnostic reports. Okay. The second one is once you have the single clinical data repository, is you also need access. Hindi enough na in-store mo lang, no? Naka-centralize ka nga, wala naman nakakita. Okay. The third one is a controlled medical vocabulary. This is just the one where you try to standardize a lot of terminologies. Okay. So usually at this time you try to implement CPT codes, ICD-10, no? Better if you go towards other standardization like LOINC and SNOMED. But it's part of the process. Once you store data, especially if you have multiple machines, multiple sources, a CBC should be a complete blood count depending on the source. So pwede magbanggaan. That's the purpose of a controlled medical vocabulary. The goal of stage two for hospitals, once you have bought all your equipment, once you have started digitizing your ancillary diagnosis reports, tingnan mo na, nakatingin ka sa taas ng hospital, you're looking down, seeing, computerized na. The goal of stage two is to go towards a single source of truth. The single source of truth is where you can actually do a lot of work. May malaking value na nandyan ang single source of truth. So you start with the diagnostic results, but you actually move towards other clinical documents later on. But still, meron kang concept na may single source of truth in electronic format inside the hospital. Ngayon, maraming hospitals, they started with LIS. Andyan lang yung laboratory, dyan ko titignan. Pag titignan ko yung radiology, andito sa RIS, nakakalat. Marami nakakalat. May kanya-kanyang data silo. But if you want to move towards an EMR journey, and you're going to stage two, kailangan you plan for this, a single source of truth. Okay? Having a single source of truth also requires that a lot of the systems get integrated. Kasi kailangan mo magbato sa loob ng system, ng single source of truth na yan, the CDR. Okay? So, para maging simple lang yung explanation is imagine na all the systems are parang email. So, meron kang Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, Hotmail, AOL, lahat pa ng ibang email. So, si laboratory ang gamit Outlook. Okay? So, pag nag-uusap sila, puro lang sila Outlook to Outlook. Okay? Si RIS is Yahoo. Tapos yung mga doctors, Google. Okay? But ultimately, gusto mo nang iisa lang ang bagsak. Pwede bang na i-email mo na lang sa akin, sa Outlook mo yung papunta sa Gmail ko? And then, the idea is to standardize everything. It becomes one. So isa lang yung babagsakan. The idea is this other systems also email, no? Babagsak sa'yo. Tapos iisa lang titingnan. So nakastore na sa isa, nababasa mo pa sa isa. Okay? So yan yung parang medyo very simplified version ng CDR. Okay? So on a more technical diagram, the CDR actually takes a lot of information from all the different ancillary services, but it also takes information from the HIS. So dapat merong batuhan ng HIS papunta sa loob ng CDR. The CDR consolidates a lot of the data from all the other systems. Now, a lot of the hospitals, when you talk about EMR, hindi nila na-encounter yung CDR because the CDR is a technical concept. ang gusto ko ma-appreciate, Bali, when it comes to explaining to hospital management or leaders that the CDR is something that is technical. So for all the health IT professionals, they need to understand what the CDR is. But on the implementation side, the CDR is the EMR. It is the foundation of the EMR. So when we discuss with any implementation of an EMR that goes towards stage 2 pataas, you are relying on a CDR behind the scene. So naka-back-end Bali CDR. Yun ang importante. So para sa side ng doctors, it's just the EMR. Right? The start of the EMR is a CDR behind the scenes. Okay, so dyan yung start. If you discuss with a vendor and they do not have a concept of CDR, mahirapan sila because they cannot consolidate. That is something you need to ask. Now, what is the benefit of having a CDR? Okay. At this point, I will share mga screenshots na available sa online para ma-appreciate, no? Very early on, a lot of hospitals try to consolidate their test results. Kung makita niyo dito, Cassandra, marami siya nakita na lahat ng data. Nandito siya, nakikita na. Okay? Even here, in one view, makikita niya HbA1c, General Chem, no? Nandito nakikita niya. So, pero look at this UI. It's so old, it's Internet Explorer, but a lot of the work that has been done on trying to come up with an EMR is really trying to consolidate a lot of the information from different systems. This is actually a screenshot that has been with me for years. I got this siguro nasa St. Luke's pa ako at 2008. And then I started looking at different systems when we started working at TMC. But this is the EMR of BIDMC, Harvard na hospital. They try to consolidate a lot of the results. Kung makita nyo, meron sila ibang results. Reports, no? Nandito yung mga ibang diagnostic centers, no? Cardiology, cytogenetics, cytology. But if you look at the all, makikita mo sila lahat. Then, at this point, I'm hoping that the hospital management leaders here can just imagine paano ko i-start ito. No? So, years ago, 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, nag-start na yung iba. Just try to consolidate. Okay. This is a newer one. This is from Practice Fusion. Ganun rin, no? If you look at it, iba-iba yung approach nila. Pero meron na silang interpretation. So, meron na mga rules pinapasok. It's more complicated. Mas marami na tayong tools ngayon, mas better na yung technology. So, we could appreciate something better. So, you could see all the different tests. You have some initial result, some interpretation. Okay? So, ganun. Yung iba naman, pag medyo mas complicated na, plus mas enterprise na, they look at the possibility of using flow sheets. Okay? So, makita mo na, it's not enough to just look at one. You could look at the next one. Kita mo magkasunod, no? Magkatabi. So, meron kang dito, meron dito. Kita mo yung progression ng lab results. So, you cannot do this kung hindi consolidated yung iba. And sometimes, you can even look at, makita mo yung blood type along with other findings, tabi-tabi if you have this look. Kung makita nyo dito sa navigator nila, andito na lahat ng ibang lab test. Okay. So, lab, andito yung ibang test. Extended pathology, microbial imaging. Okay. So, the idea is to really find a common user interface, a single source of truth as you move forward. Okay. This is a very memorable slide para sa team ko rin, is that a few years ago, we started building an EMR for the medical city. This is, we started consolidating all the different lab results. Right? So we started working with lab results. We went to different reports, diagnostic reports. Okay. So at least yung mga clinicians can look at one user interface. This is a current project we're working on with one of our partner hospitals, and we're trying to consolidate everything. So we have not only LIS, RIS, but all the other tests will be part of the clinical data repository. Okay. So yun ang stage 2. You look at the different systems, integrate it, and come up with standards. In standards and terminologies, you don't usually worry about it as management. Pero kung doon sa mga IT people or sa mga medyo technical dito, it's just trying to standardize how the terminologies are stored. Para when you try to retrieve it, you can actually retrieve all the CBC, kakatabi, and then you can actually do comparison, basta naka-standardize siya. As much as possible, you try to avoid free text, no? Pagtago, but ito yung mga purpose ng mga standards and terminologies. Okay? A good thing about having a CDR is not only about access. If you could do a lot of work with a CDR at marami ka nang nakuha, as much as possible, you go for 100%. Once you have 100% and you go to CDR, you could actually build something better. You could build a patient portal. Okay? So pagka may patient portal ka na, nasa cloud, so nag-uusap sila dalawa, anything inside the CDR, based on proper permissions, can be stored and seen at the patient portal. Okay? These are just some of the questions. I will not go into detail, but there are things that you need to look at when you try to implement stage 2. Ano ba ang mga possible? Ano ba yung mga pwede? Okay. So the next stage is stage 3. This is the start of clinical documentation. Dito na mag-start yung, pwede na ba ako mag-type sa loob? Okay. So, as you can see, merong nursing and allied health documentation. Meron na rin EMAR, Electronic Medication Administration Record. Ito yung description ng HIMSS. Meron silang criteria. 50% of all the documentation should be stored in the system. So imagine nyo, 50% doon na nakastore. Hindi lang pwede mag-print, dapat doon na rin tinatype, doon na rin tinitingnan. Okay? So, the goal of stage 3 is actually multidisciplinary, team-based documentation. So, kailangan mag-document yung mga nurses, kailangan merong input, tapos merong tumitingin, may nag-review. So, ang target mo basically is initial documentation of nursing, allied health, and physician. So, sila yun. Okay? One of the questions na usually na-encounter is, bakit hindi pwede mag-type ka na lang, tapos tsaka na natin digitize lahat? There is value in giving access first. So, one of the things na sinasabi is, when I was studying this, is based on the success factors. No? The idea was, let's give better information to the doctors before we require them to type in. Makita nila na, nakikita ko lang ng lab reports, mamaya natin sila i-require. But when we want to go to stage 3, then we actually mandate, mas madali na sa kanila kasi nakikita nila lahat eh, andun na. With stage 2, nakikita na nila lahat. So, pwede mo sabihin na doon ka na rin mag-type. Okay? Ang malaking difference, especially when you're trying to plan for stage 2 and stage 3, stage 2 has very minimal user mobilization. So, konti pa lang yung kailangan mo disturbuhin. You just disturb basically yung mga ancillary systems, no? And then try to train the doctors for some access work. But when you go to stage 3, you train nurses, you train doctors, you train allied health, lahat ng iba to using forms. Okay? Stage 3, marami ng activities sa stage 3 in the US. So if you study the whole idea of going to stage 3, there is vital signs, no? Vital signs is just one. But you look at the different kind of notes that you need to take on. Look at how old this UI is. 2010, 10 years ago. Meron talaga silang effort. I'm trying to look at old UI because I also want to appreciate yung efforts ng ibang countries. Habang wala pa silang major technologies. Parang kung saan tayo, we need to see, ito yung ginagawa nila. So we also need to appreciate ano yung mga efforts ng iba during the time na sila rin mismo wala sila mga major products. But this one, for example, you have the vitals, allergies, no? Ang mga diagnosis naka-save na rin if you look at the different notes. This one is more complicated. Wow, this is better. This is something new. I think this is a 1-year, 2-year-old na screenshot. If you look at the notes, okay? So may mga templates na, meron ng management of history, everything, vital signs naka-store. Okay. So when you look at this,
secret nga. Secret. Type mo secret.
Alam ko Sir Kija 2020.
Dali. Haj.
Yap. Sorry, Doc.
Okay. Okay. So, ito yung mga notes and okay. If you look at this one, merong allied health na aspect talaga, no? So, ang malaking bagay dito is what I want to for the hospital management, hospital leaders to appreciate is yung complexity ng clinical documentation. It moves towards something basic to more complex. One of the challenges when you work with the local vendors is sabihin na kailangan ko ng idea to do some clinical documentation. Sasabihin sa'yo ng vendor, okay, anong form ang kailangan mo? Kailangan mo ng SOAP? Sure, gawan kita. Isang box S, isang box O, isang box A. Okay? Hindi ganun kasimple yan. Okay? So you need to look at the complexities from very simple to more complicated clinical documentation. So habang nag-build up yung you imagine appreciating the whole hospital, the different services, OFTA, pedia, no, ortho, iba-ibang clinical documentation requirements yan. This one example is actually a derma, no? So meron siyang free text, meron siyang iba-ibang aspect. This is an effort that we did many years ago for the Prime, was to record a lot of vital signs sa hospital. Okay. So meron rin intake and output kasama dun sa tinitry namin ma-record. Okay. This is the work that we're doing right now. Doing some clinical documentation and work not only for nursing, but also for different clinical documentation like OR technique, even the concept of a CF4. CF4, malaking bagay yung CF4 sa atin. A lot of doctors are going towards the CF4. Yung mga benefit in having the CF4, that's the start. But it's better kung integrated. So maraming nagsasabi na hindi naman pasok sa workflow namin yung CF4. Ginagawa namin ng hiwalay. But if you really plan for it, yung CF4 dapat madali na lang. It's part of the work down the line. Pero naunahan na tayo ng PhilHealth mandates the CF4, then mas maganda ma-maximize natin na andyan na. Okay? So even nurses' notes, okay? And vital signs. This is the work that we're doing right now. And we're trying to create clinical documentation modules and capabilities sa hospital. Not a lot of hospitals can do this. Okay? The challenge of clinical documentation is actually yung complexities. You need to look at the different forms, flows, fields, no, sa loob ng clinical documentation. That's why when we compare, kunyari merong mga doctors magsabi na computerized na yung aking clinic. Meron akong EMR, bakit yung hospital hindi pa kaya? Because the forms that you use inside the clinic is very simple. It's not even multi-user. But inside the hospital, you have teams working. You have teams working on one form, set of data. Kailangan nila mag-work together. Paano kung yung compliance mababa, yung isa hindi gumagamit, no? Ang conversion, when I use conversion here, this is the impact of converting paper to electronic. Hindi lahat ng paper na form kaya mong gawing electronic na parehong-pareho. Dapat magkaiba, no? Parang kunyari yung sa nurses, paminsan color-coded, no? Yung ginagawa nila. So kailangan i-imagine mo paano gawin yung form but you extract the same data na pwedeng kunin. Okay? Meron rin mga integrations sa mga forms na kailangan. Ano yung nakapasok before, ano paggamit after, no? So part of stage 3. Kaya kung makita nyo kanina when I was discussing stage 3 yung MRAM, maraming hospitals na sa stage 3 because stage 3 is really a lot of work. It's not only documentation but it's also part of electronic medication administration record. So kung imagine you even many years ago when they started doing some EMR work, it is about recording kung ano yung naibigay mo. It's not only when you order something, it is scheduled, and then kung naibigay mo, anong oras, you try to record it. Ngayon sa atin, we're doing paper. Patient charts, we're doing paper. So naka-paper lang tayo. Okay na yun. But that's not enough if you want to go towards an EMR. So, ito mga sample lang online of the different kinds of EMR na pwede. So, paano ka magbigay ng isang PRN. Okay. Nasaan na yung mga na naka-discontinued, no? Lahat yan. Okay. So, Isipin mo nung unang panahon, ginagawa na talaga nila yan. Tayo naghahabol pa lang. Paano mag-order ng iba-ibang gamot. Okay. So, andito yung standing order. Okay. Kung makita nyo dito siya mag-record anong araw binigay, ano yung orders, ano yung sensitivities, allergies. Okay. So, this is their sample. When you look at this, you need to implement yung documentation. Malaking bagay is when you work with your vendor. Usually ngayon, it's just an HIS vendor. You talk to them. Can you handle complicated forms? Kaya nyo ba mag-drawing? Kaya ano? Because clinical documentation is not straightforward na mag-type lang kasi isang form. Marami siyang pwedeng gamitin, maraming complexities. That's why you need to be aware that if you really want an EMR, if you demand an EMR from your vendor, kailangan ma-appreciate rin na hindi simple ang system na kailangan mo. You need features that helps address all these requirements. No? So maraming pwedeng papasok na requirements. Okay. So the next stage, after stage 3, is stage 4. So ang target dito is CPOE. Okay. Ang focus actually is very simple. Although maraming mga extra words no, inside yan, checking ano. But this is the focus here is to look at ordering. So kung ma-imagine nyo, yung hospital nyo ulit, see-through, nakita nyo yung buong hospital, lahat. Darating na yung mga doctors, nagamit sila ng system. Nag-check na sila ng labs nila. Nag-type na sila ng progress note sila. Kaya nila mag-order. Kung mag-order sila ngayon, this is the one that triggers care for the patient. So malaking bagay yung ordering. So mag-order ka, doon na rin sila. So kung paano sila gagamit, no? Imagine mo na mag-order na sila ng kanilang clinical orders. Yung ordering process should also be appreciated from the side ng mga doctors. One of the things that is really challenging for the current situation as you move towards an EMR is to get away from charging model. Ang sinasabi kong charging model is that all orders are chargeable. So pag magsabi ka na bigyan mo tong gamot na to, charge ka agad yun. No? So, kasi kukuha ka ng gamot, ilalagay mo doon. But hindi mo naman nakasabi anong oras or standing order ba yan or PRN ba yan. So pakibigay ng biogesic kung sumakit yung ulo sample. Pero kukuha na kaagad, tatabi na kaagad yun, at charge na in a sense. Pero hindi naman sinabi na ibigay mo ngayon. Okay? So yung complexities ng clinical orders, hindi siya naka-capture pagka nasa mundo ka na ng charging. You need to go beyond charging and you need to go to the world of clinical orders. Okay? Now, once you also do clinical orders, ito sinasabi ko itong units accept the orders, there should also be the idea that if I do an electronic order, I order something, let's say, put a splint, no? Kaya i-sponge bath mo yung pasyente. Merong babagsakan ng order. So, it's not enough to do an order lang. Someone else should also accept that order and carry it out. So, imagine nyo nang pagka nag-order ka, merong babagsakan yan. Pupunta ba yun sa isang PT? Pupunta ba yun sa isang pharmacy? Pupunta ba yun sa isang nurse? So, titingnan nyo yung paano. Kaya nasa stage 4, yung concept ng ordering. Hindi yung tipong na, okay, maglagay lang ako ng isang box, mag-order doon, tapos hindi. Meron stages, nag-build up sila sa isa't isa. If you look at a very, very old, no? So, ito yung mga efforts ng mga, nung panahon na yun is to just do orders, type lang, no? Order sila. Okay? Now, iba naman ang ginagawa is nag-scan sila, with a bato, or they create electronic checklist. So can you imagine, for example, for this one, admitting order, patient status dito. So you check weight, no? You check length every Sunday night. So meron mga ganung klaseng ordering. So hindi lahat chargeable. Sabi mo, mag-vital signs ka per NICU policy. So hindi mo naman isa-charge yun. That's part of the work of the nurse. So sasabihin mo na yan. But it needs to be documented. It needs to be ordered. Okay? So you can imagine the journey towards paperless. Dahan-dahan papunta ka na doon. Okay? So in the world of the EMR, in terms of ordering, you also go towards clinical decision support. So dapat meron ka ng checks. When nag-order ka, may nag-check. The easiest one to check is usually from the drugs, kung nag-match sa drug allergy or drug-drug interactions. So may mga possibility na mag-check ka ng ganun. Okay. So these are also samples of doing orders. Ano yung mga non-chargeable na items. Okay. For example, this one, appreciate ko to, although medyo complicated yung UI, pero kung makita nyo maraming laman, mayroong types of orders. Andito yung mga orders. Okay. Here's a sample. A pre-operative NPO instruction. Instruct patient to be NPO after midnight. So, kung imagine yun, mag-order na yan, that's usually done on paper right now. But if it becomes electronic in your hospital, tapos you imagine your hospital na nakita mo lahat ng doctor, sabihin natin pumapasok lahat, may mag-surgery, no? Merong mag-cardiac clearance, meron ganito, lahat sila nag-order ng kung ano. Everything is electronic. Dapat merong way na ma-accept itong mga instructions. No? Merong mga way na ma-accept yung mga bagay na hindi charge ang katapat. Okay? So, yung mga ganun. So, kailangan ma-imagine ito. This is part of stage 4. That's why CPOE is part of stage 4. Meron rin mga times na set, no? Yung mga orders na gawa na pipili ka na lang. Meron rin naman, can you imagine, kunyari, if you order something to give additional dose now, meron ka ng kalangan ng ano yung requirement, i-piggyback mo to doon sa isang ano. So, kailangan makuha yung mga permutations na yan, mga mahabol. Tapos, ganito rin. Meron mga grouping, kailangan. And, paminsan, meron mga standing orders na merong conditions. Pag ganito nangyari, ganito. Pag ganito nangyari, pwede mong ibigay. Okay? So, may mga ways na paano mag-track ng orders dapat. So, that's stage 4. Okay? Kung imagine niyo kanina, we saw that majority of hospitals, prior to the incentive, were targeting stage 3 and stage 4. So, at stage 4, kung gusto mo habulin yun, kung magplano ka ng EMR papunta sa stage 4, you look at the different requirements. Stage 3 and stage 4 is really intensive when it comes to dealing with the users. So, kailangan ready ka. It's not enough that you have the software. You look at the processes, no? Ano ba mga pasok, ano ba mga policies involved. So, meron ako mga set of questions na pwedeng nabala ko i-post and share later on tinatapos ko to kasi this was requested by one of the clients. Ano ba yung mga capabilities? Ano ba mga question natin kung nagawa in one stage? Okay? So, ito yung mga possible. Okay? Hindi na ako tutuloy sa stage 5, 6, 7. Dadaanan ko siya very short lang. But it's important to look at stage 0. Kung mag-start ka ng is to look at stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Ito yung realistic. Sometimes we deal with different hospitals and they talk about, I want to go paperless. I want to go paperless. Parang hindi siya ganun kadali. And sometimes, pwede bang ano pwedeng bilhin? Hindi siya ganun kadali. It's important to understand that it's a journey. And there are different steps in the stages. So, a realistic approach would be to go for stage 4. You understand ano ang implication ng stage 4 kasi marami ka ng benefits makuha at stage 4. Okay. So, stage 5, daan na lang natin, physician documentation with structured templates. Okay. So, ito nakabuo na yung 1 day prior to consult. Meron ka ng mga nakaset na kukunin mo na lang, no? Maganda yun. Maganda yung kung magawa. Stage 6 is closed loop. Merong technology monitoring. Closed loop is the ability to check na yung order mo na ibigay na, tapos nag-respond ba siya. No? Okay, so, mas high-tech na in a sense. And stage 7 is actually ito, malaking bagay. The hospital no longer uses paper charts to deliver and manage patient care. Okay, so, makita mo bali na paperless ka na at stage 7. So ngayon bali tatanong bali na kung achievable ba ang paperless? It's realistic to say na hindi pa. But you could take away a lot of paper. You could reduce the usage of paper by just understanding kung saan ka papunta. No? Saan ka mag-start. Let's do a recap. Lapit na tayo matapos. Okay. One of the key learnings I hope that is from this talk is that the clinic EMR, which is also very valuable for private practice, it's not enough. It's not the same as a hospital EMR. If you are a doctor who practices and you have your own clinic EMR, but you're also a hospital owner and you look at the hospital, it's not the same. Okay? You need a broader view, a broader perspective if you want to plan for what you need inside the hospital. The second one is that an HIS is not an EMR. Kulang. Okay? It is a good start when you want to do administrative functions. Kailangan siya. But it is not an EMR. And although in EMR is challenging, it's doable, basta alam mo kung saan ka mag-start. Sometimes ayaw mo yung mag-start ka ng masyadong malaki ka agad, no? Na hindi mo kaya, fail ka lang. You take it one step at a time. Basta malinaw ko aning each step. Malinaw sa plans ng hospital kung paano. Okay? So, hina-highlight ko to because I feel that hospitals should understand that this is what is doable, what is realistic. When you are starting from stage 0, stage 1, just go for stage 4 muna. Okay? Pero wag mo na 4 agad. Okay? You look at the stages. So, stage 1 ka muna, acquire ka muna ng IT systems, digitize mo lahat. Second is come up with a single source of truth, integrate. Third is start looking at clinical documentation, and fourth is start looking at ordering. If I were to create a timeline, sample naman to, this is not a recommendation, this is sample. Let's say you have enough of these IT systems na ready na sa hospital ninyo. Tapos meron ng mga naka-digitize. Okay? Then you could start, siguro shorten na lang ang 1 year lang, meron ka na single source of truth. And then, by that time, when you're ready for stage 3 and stage 4, mas mabilis na. Baka 2 to 3 years, meron ka ng stage 4. And I think that will be better than a lot of other hospitals. Marami ka nang pwedeng magawa. Okay? The sad part is that there's actually a real digital divide in the Philippines. Bakit? Kasi we have very little options for hospitals. Very little options from stage 1. Tapos, ang meron tayo na ibang systems, usually from abroad, from outside, stage 7 is medyo complete. Years ago, I tried to deal with US vendors, and although sabihin ko na, I just need something that will allow us to come up with a single source of truth, nahirapan sila kasi it's kasama lahat eh. Parang hindi pwedeng bilhin ng tingi-tingi, no? It's the mindset ng Philippines, tingi-tingi. Di ba tingi lang, ito lang muna, bilhin mo muna, tsaka muna. No, so usually malalaki yung mga nila. So the struggle that we have right now is to actually look at how do we move across each stage habang limited tayo by what's available sa HIS vendors. Okay? The challenge that I pose to hospitals who want to is to take the first step. Kailangan mag-create ka muna ng plan. So, lagyan natin ang CREs natin. We look at integration, then coming up with the single source truth, and slowly build up on top of this. And second is a lot of the hospitals that we deal with always meron na akong HIS, bakit pa ako, meron na kaming EMR, sabi ng HCS, no, meron na akong EMR. Ang ano ko sa kanila is, once you understand the complexity of a hospital EMR, it's not just any kind of form. You need to look at capabilities, features, multiple teams, multiple users. And do not be satisfied with the definition. If you want to be considered innovative, you want to really move forward, hindi enough yet. Okay. And then, one of the things na ano ko rin is, it would be nice if the hospitals could work together and share knowledge and share on how to move from each stage. So, paminsan one of the is usually pagka nasa St. Luke's, when they do activities, St. Luke's lang may hindi ma-share. Paminsan pagka TMC lang activity, paminsan hindi ma-share. It would be nice to see na a lot of these pockets of innovation, a lot of these pockets of nag-share sila, nakikitang innovate. Na yung isang hospital nag-try na mag-come up with clinical documentation, maayos yung standard. Then it would be nice if there is a possibility to collaborate. Okay? So, ayun. So that's the short presentation. Short ba? 1 hour exacto. 5:10 na. Sana medyo I know it's a bit complicated, especially trying to understand the stages. But I also want the hospitals to also see the possibilities, but also to understand yung weight ng bawat step. At hindi siya madali, pero hindi naman siya impossible. At kaya siyang gawin. Okay? So at this point, meron bang questions?
Hello, everyone. If you have any questions, please feel free to type your questions. We will look at the questions and then we'll try to have
We will i-finalize ko lang yung presentation. Kasi gawin kong PDF and I will send a copy doon sa mga attendees. Meron akong isang question dito. Kung kailangan bang full na yung isang stage. Actually, hindi. If you look at the siguro babalik ako doon sa sandali. Okay. So, if you look at the paano nag-grow yung US in terms of their stages, no? So, during this time, I went with St. Luke's, nag-visit kami ng mga iba-ibang hospitals looking at their EMR implementation. Meron pa rin paper side by side. And they usually target a specific department na let's say itong department ito is paperless, pero yung kabilang department hindi pa. So, in a way, merong track. Pwede ka mag-parallel tracks inside the hospital. You could go for stage 2 dito, stage 3. Okay? So, habang nag-i-integrate ka, let's say nag-i-integrate ka, kung may mga hindi pa tapos yung integration, pero may mga willing na mag-type, no? Mag-come up with clinical documentation, then pwede mong gawin yun. Okay? So, ang ano lang is to understand that there will be some limitations na hindi enough yung compliance kung hindi mo magawa. Parang sa atin pa, okay, let's work on clinical documentation. We mandate all doctors to document progress notes. But kung ang system can only look at labs, hindi nila makita yung radiology, ECG, no? Then enough, then expect mo na mababa yung compliance. You need to deal with that. So alamin mo lang na merong limitations, but it's doable. Okay? So you don't need to wait for a full stage 1, a full stage 2 to move forward. Okay? So yan yung ano. Parallel. Okay, so a question is, are there any locally made EMRs you were able to implement or look at? Walang locally made. My team is actually exposed to a lot of local HIS vendor and international EMR vendors. So my team is actually exposed to Orion Health na EMR nung nag-implement yung TMC. It was after I was CIO. And then my team also implemented the EMR system in St. Luke's for the EDIS, yung emergency department. Maganda yung implementation na yun because that is paperless. And then right now, we're also trying to implement an EMR in the medical city. That's also an international product. But in terms of local, that's actually the challenge. We're trying to work on our own software, EMR, to address. We are partnering with hospitals who really want to move forward with the EMR journey. And so we're slowly building on the different functionalities needed per stage. Okay. Follow-up question, what is the budget to start an EMR? For international products, this is based from our experience, and we are exposed to a lot of commercial proposals. International EMR products, we usually start at 50 million pesos implementation. Okay, alam ko medyo malaki. Kaya usually mga malalaking hospital lang ang gumagawa niyan. And ang modules nila can address stage 4 hanggang stage 7. So the 50 million is just a starting point. Start pa lang yan. Habang you look at HIS, the commercial value proposal ng HIS is 1 million, 1.5. No? So ang laki ng gap. So that's why parang I feel that it's actually a challenge. If hospitals can understand, the industry can understand that there's actually a challenge that you need to bridge the gap between the 1 million and the 50 million. There is a place in the market for software that addresses the EMR requirements of hospitals between the 1.5, sabi natin 3 million range up to 18 million. Ganun. 3 to 18 million. That would be a good budget depending on the size of the hospital. Kung maliit lang yung hospital, 3 million. Yung mas malaki-laki, 400 bed. No? Ganun. Pwede nasa 18 million depending on the budget. Okay. Next question, but can CDR make use of cloud? Yes. Okay. The CDR is actually an architecture approach. Hindi siya strict on the technology. Patient portals are actually CDRs in a sense. They are clinical data repositories. But you could also do a CDR of your hospital sa cloud. So doon nakabato yung mga information. You could also look at CDR. The one that we're trying to create an architecture for right now is to look at CDR as also a backup. So meron kang CDR on-premise at meron ka ring CDR na naka-backup. Okay, so definitely a CDR can use cloud. Merong business use cases for cloud na installation. But overall approach dun sa hospital, kailangan ma-consider. Yung hospital ba ready sa cloud? Yung ancillary systems ba can integrate via cloud? No? Ganun. So there should be a planning. That's part of stage 1 and stage 2, if you look at it. Stage 1 is acquisition, stage 2 is integration and CDR. Okay, does BizBox have EMR? From our experience, meron silang EMR na sasabihin. Okay, so they will describe an EMR, but that's why I need to sa atin pa requalify kung ano ba talaga ang EMR sa loob ng hospital. It's not enough to create modules na meron akong form, pwede ka mag-type, but you also need the whole approach ng pag-build up ng clinical documentation. Then hindi enough kung ano yung meron usually. So usually naghahanap sila. Ang sa akin is if you are happy just doing simple forms, just trying to manage, then you don't need to look. But if you want something more, then you look at alternatives. How is patient's data secured? That's part of the architecture and server ng system. There should be best practices. Maraming ways to secure the database, along with some EMRs rely on encryption. Some EMRs rely on separation, no, of data. Ibig sabihin, yung patient name na sa isang database, yung clinical documentation na sa ibang database. Para kung ma-hack yung isang database, ang nakita ko lang patient name. Kung ma-hack ko naman yung kabila, ang nakita ko lang lab results, hindi ko naman na kanino. No? Yung iba naman naka-encrypt. Pero as long as you create an architecture that follows best practices, standards in security, like firewall, no, security patches, lahat ng the building of maayos yung authentication, and even the concept of, let's say, two-factor authentication, ipasok mo, no? So may mga ganung bagay. The more layers of security you add, the better, syempre. That's how you secure patient data. Okay, how long does it take to train hospital staff? It depends on the functionality, but kung maayos yung UI mo, and you just need to go in small stages. For example, you just need to teach access then baka natuturo ka lang how to do Facebook, no? Parang ganoon lang kasimple yung iba. As long as they can follow the different steps, no? Click dito, click doon. Siguro 1 hour, 2 hours doon sa access, mabilis na. When you go towards clinical documentation, then it's very specific yan. As long as ang usability maganda, then half a day paminsan aabutin. So right now, we're trying to implement an EMR in the medical city. We're trying to allocate half a day for doctors, half a day for one session. But that's for clinical documentation. There's another section in terms of ordering. So ordering naman iba component kasi paminsan mas complicated yung order. Aside from just doing a checklist, siyempre sasabihin mo ba na akala ko mag-create ng order set, paano ko hanapin, paano ko mag-order ako ng labs, gamot, x-ray, nurse order, paano ko gawin yan. So it takes another day. So pero hindi siya ganun kahirap pagka naplano mo lahat. Ang challenging actually sa hospitals is how to get the doctors in the same room all at the same time. So kahit na kaya mo mag-train ng isang doctor one day, half day, but you have 200 doctors, and then not everyone can be on. So na-spread out. That adds to the timeline ng project. Next question is, are locally sourced is ready for the succeeding stage syndrome? From experience, no. They are trying to, pero hindi pa. One of the challenges that we have has always been integration. Integration is part of stage 2. Stage 1 is also the acquisition, but sometimes, by definition for stage 1 is just the acquisition with paminsan minimal integration. Paminsan basta nagpasa ka lang ng patient demographics, ng order, okay ka na. During stage 1, hindi ka required na ibalik yung data. So for example, let's talk about laboratory. When I do an order in an HIS, may mga HIS na ngayon, ibabato niya palabas. Oh, mag-order ako ng CBC. I-accept ngayon ng LIS. The LIS, because there is no single source of truth, nandun na sila sa LIS, doon mo ipiprint out yung CBC, doon mo lahat. Hindi na siya lumalabas, nandun lang siya. Okay? Now, but if you need to move to the next stages, you need to look at taking out. So merong magbabato dapat yung LIS ng results. So sometimes yung HIS, kaya nila tumanggap. Okay? Pero based on the format nila. Pero if you look at the stages not only for accepting, but also for access, dyan sila paminsan may challenging. Because paminsan hindi sila web-based, wala silang doctor's modules na specific to ganun. They can accept, but it's targeted for releasing of results ng medtech, releasing of results ng isang reception, no? So ganoon ang they're looking at administrative. Importante 'yun, pero ibang aspect ng clinical documentation. That's where the succeeding stages in the roadmap, kunyari sabihin natin na I want all doctors to see 100% the results. Medyo mahirapan na sila. Because we are not only talking about LIS, RIS, kailangan ipasok nyo na yung ECG, endoscopy reports, no? Nuclear med, lahat yan papasok na. So dapat iba na yung structure nila. Kailangan mag-create na sila ng ibang database structure. With most hospitals only having... Basta yung HIS follows the standard, especially HL7. But from our experience, even following HL7 according to the correct standards is challenging. Sometimes they interpret the standards na hindi tama and it becomes problematic. So, meron silang binabago din sa standards kasi mas madali o hindi masyado naintindihan. So, mas mahirap. Which among the local HIS are positioned well for the succeeding stages? If I will be honest, wala pa sa ngayon. Wala pa. And that is why we have a digital, talagang pakiramdam ko there's a digital gap with our local HIS vendors. I have been struggling with the situation for several years na. I started my work consulting with hospitals and I have worked with several hospitals for a long time. The biggest challenge has been always from the HIS, we move towards stage 1 ancillary, and then what's next? Paminsan, hirap talaga sila. Last year, we did an evaluation of the different HIS. 5 HIS systems local because the medical city wanted to change the system. So we evaluated 5 HIS systems and 3 international systems. Lahat ng 5, are perfect fit for administrative functions kasi they are talagang customized for PhilHealth requirements, for DOH requirements, and all the other requirements na kailangan sa local. Yun ang naging strength ng mga local HIS. But when we try to go into the clinical aspect, kaya ba mag-doctors magtingin dyan? Kaya ba niya mag-check? Kaya ba mag-integrate? Natalo lahat ng HIS. Doon pumasok yung mga international. 3 sila galing sa abroad. So doon na naglabanan. Ang naging naging labanan ng 3 was paano ako mag-order? Madali ba? Ilang steps ba ako mag-order ng order set? Kaya ko mag-order ng ganito, ganun. So it was a sad realization sa side namin, sa team namin as we implement, na wala talagang local na kaya. But pakiramdam namin, there's this need na a lot of the hospitals really are ready for EMR, pero medyo challenging kung ganito ang situation ng local vendors natin. That's why international vendors are coming in and trying to implement. Okay, we have a lot of paper records. Paper records is it's all about a document management approach. You scan, index. It depends on the software, pero yung software system usually ranges between 1.5 million to 4 million depending on the licensing and servers required sa side ng pag-digitize ng paper records. Ang usually kasama dyan is a server and sometimes meron kang high-speed scanner sa equipment na kailangan for paper charts. This is a good start if you want to archive a lot of your paper charts, lalo na kung marami. And then when you're moving towards an EMR, it will be a good resource kasi hindi pa electronic lahat but you still want to review. So habang dahan-dahan ka na move towards something na clinical documentation na type mo, meron kang kayang balikan. Okay? Will we need to do data cleansing before HIS integrates with EMR? Yes, definitely. That's a best practice not only naman in healthcare, but as much as possible, you try to clean your data, merge patients that need to be merged, clean mga test data. Paminsan, once in a while, when you implement, you throw in a lot of test data. No? You check yung mga inactive data na mga deleted. And then, pagka malinis na yun, mas maayos na. Then you could plan for itong integration or you could plan for a centralized repository. So, ayun. Okay, mukhang...
No more questions on my side, Doc. Wala na akong nakakuha.
Okay. Okay. It's already 5:28. Medyo... na rin, 1 hour 30 minutes na rin. And I'm hoping na naging useful. Siguro we'll just repackage itong kasi maraming images. I'll do a PDF of the slides, email everyone kung kailan available para ma-share yung slides, pwedeng gamitin as reference, no, as part ng planning. Tapos, inform lang namin. Baka hindi na muna yung webinar next week kasi yung mukhang bakasyon na yung mga tao. It's nasa mood na sila, vacation mood na, Christmas mood na yung mga tao. So, tuloy na lang natin yung iba next year. Okay? So yun. Kung wala nang ibang questions, thank you sa lahat ng naka-attend. I hope na naging useful sa inyo.
Thank you, everyone.